Last night, I slept in the streets of Athens. Just like this. I seen some like gypsies or whatever you want to call them, Roma, I don't care. Like just across the street over there, sleeping on some mattresses. So they got it better than me at the moment. And yeah. Well, it wasn't planned, and it definitely was not an ideal circumstance or experience in general. I mean, was it my fault? Partly. But there's sort of many factors that led to it. It's interesting because some time ago when I was in Portugal, I was actually debating just doing that exact thing, like just sleeping in the streets, like basically intentionally being homeless for fun, for the lack of a better word, for some sort of experience, which realistically it was terrible, but also somehow was a somewhat interesting and rewarding experience that I'm like strangely grateful, because it was quite like funny in a twisted sort of way. And realistically, it was also not the first time that I've had to sleep in like really weird or terrible places and situations. Like, for example, actually, when I was in Portugal, one of the things that made me debate this whole idea was the fact that my luggage was lost by the air company, and I'd been wearing the same clothes now because of traveling for like 2.5 days, and then my luggage being lost for 5 days. But I ended up buying new clothes. But at this point, I was wearing the same clothes for like 4, going on 5 days. And I was really tired this one day, and I just ended up passing out on a park bench. And I just woke up and I look over, and there's a whole bunch of other benches in the park, and like all of them are occupied by what looks like homeless people just napping. And I'm like, oh man, like I've really somehow become one of them in a way. I mean, luckily for me, I still had some money, so I really could like go pay for a hostel or whatever, but it was just not a great circumstance. But this was what happened last night. Basically, I was supposed to catch a ferry. Well, there we go. Piraeus, Athens ferry terminal. Kind of a shit show, honestly. Got here nice and on time, but the ferry, as you can see, it's not here. So I'm just gonna chill, play some guitar, wait. Hopefully everything works out, because there's nobody I can ask to anything really, because there's nobody that works here. But it's kind of typical for public transportation in Greece, I found. But it always seems to work out, so let's hope it works out. Yeah, so basically I showed up to the ferry terminal on time. I mean, they had prior sent me an email saying, oh, the ferry's actually delayed 2 hours. So I showed up and I was thinking, oh my God, well, maybe that email was like just a troll or something. Because like I walked for literally miles. The place is huge, and I walked around, could not find anyone to talk to. Every office was closed. Every ticket booth was closed. So eventually I find some strangers, and they're like, oh yeah, you gotta go to Terminal 2. And then there happened to be also an employee nearby, so I asked him. He's like, yeah, go to Terminal 2. Just take the bus, and you'll be fine. So I get on the bus, and like I'm driving, and then the sign for Terminal 2 comes up. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess this is where I get off. So I get off the bus, and I'm like walking around, like there's not very many people around. And once again, there's nobody in charge that I can talk to. So I'm just chilling there, killing some time. it's over an hour past departure time, and oh look, here comes a ferry. If it doesn't dock here, I'm literally gonna fucking shit myself, or I don't know, probably like kick over all these concrete barriers like a crackhead or something. So yeah, I really ended up just being stuck there, and I had no idea where to go. Like I said, there's no one around. Eventually, like, there's some other people in a car, so I went and asked them, and they're like, we have no idea. And they're like, no, like, we're just hanging out. They weren't even trying to catch a ferry, apparently. So I show them my ticket, and they see the sign, and they're like, yeah, it seems like you're in the right place. Like, I don't know what's going on either. I'm like, what the actual heck? So at this point, it's like an hour past when it was supposed to be departure. So I'm like, well, obviously I'm screwed somehow. So I had no choice. Like, basically, I'm like, well, now it's like too late at night to go anywhere. And I can't like go all the way back across the city now. And it's kind of too late to like get a hostel, and I don't want to pay like freaking €100 for a hotel room. And this is like also one of the factors that kind of led to it, is like that sometimes you get trapped by these sort of arbitrary laws or these arbitrary rules, like the fact that like hotels, a lot of the time they won't check you in after like 2 a.m. or some of them the latest maybe is like 4 a.m. They won't check you in. Like they're considered the day over. Now you have to wait till the next like afternoon. And I remember one time I was at a diner, I was at a diner in a hotel, and this like poor old guy, he's like a taxi driver. He came in, and you could tell he was just completely exhausted, like just fried. And he was like, oh man, like, and he came in and asked, he's like, and it was like 11 in the morning or something. He's like, he'd obviously been driving all night. He's like, can I get a hotel room, please? Like, I'm just so exhausted, I just need to sleep. And they're like, no, sorry. And he's like, well, why not? And they're like, you can't check in till 1 o'clock. And he's like, but I just need to sleep. Like, I don't care, I'll pay for like an early check-in or whatever. They're like, no, sorry, we can't do that. Like, we can't allow anyone in until 1 o'clock. And he's like, what the heck? Like, and he was pretty freaking irritated, as you can imagine. And it's just stupid, because yeah, it's one of these sort of arbitrary things that I guess when you're on the regular schedule, when things work out kind of normal or whatever, it doesn't affect you as much. But sometimes when you're in these kind of in-between spaces, like these types of systems can really screw you over. And so anyway, yeah, like this is one of the other things that basically ended up making me where I was next. Well, the ferry never came, and no information. And the other people that work for the company, completely useless. Also, other people in the area trying to help me, also kind of useless. So this is what it's come to. I'm sleeping behind a bush next to an abandoned building, and try to get some rest anyway, and go to the office in the morning, see what the hell's going on. Yeah, so basically I had a terrible sleep. There's like noises from cars driving by, ferries. At one point I think like some siren went off, and I was like, oh. And also I was being attacked by bugs. Like every hour I would wake up from a bunch of mosquitoes trying to get me, or like these little flies would suddenly bite me, so I'd wake up because they're kind of like stinging little bites. So yeah, that was nice. And every time I'd wake up sweating too, of course, because it's like 30 degrees and humid overnight here right now. Yeah, so pretty much terrible, but somehow I did manage to get some sleep. And eventually I woke up and I decided to finally check my phone, and it was basically 6 a.m. when the terminal office finally decided to open, which thankfully they were. yeah, so basically slept just over there all night. Well, like a few hours. Apparently the office is open now, so we're gonna see. I wouldn't be surprised if it's not. Well, clearly I missed the ferry last night, but is it actually my fault? I mean, maybe partly, but like nobody could give any useful information, and the signage is absolutely terrible. Basically, everyone at the office, all they're saying is Terminal E2, Terminal E2. So I took the bus there today, and he took me exactly to the place I was last night when I asked the bus driver to take me there. And then I told him, well, I actually want to go on this boat, and I showed him my specific ticket. And then he's like, oh, that's actually over here, I'll show you. And then he drove 5 more minutes down the road and around some corners and stuff, and then he's like, yeah, this is where the boat actually comes. I'm like, oh, that's great. That would have been super useful to know, you know? And why couldn't anybody else that worked for the ferry company just tell me that? The fact it's there's multiple dockings basically, and it's here's the E2 sign, and then there's an arrow that says E3 or E1, I think, that direction. Then you have to go that direction, then around a corner, then another few minutes up the road, then that's where the ferry apparently comes. Why couldn't anybody else tell me that? And initially when I asked, why didn't anybody tell me that? You know, and then when I asked too the next day, I was confused. I'm like, well, was I in the wrong spot? I don't understand. They're like, well, you went to E2, right? I'm like, yeah, obviously, which technically I did. And none of them were intelligent enough to be like, oh, well, did you go to that second little spot around the corner or whatever the hell? There was no common sense among these people apparently, because none of them thought to, oh, clearly this guy doesn't understand, or he's new to the way the port is here, and because it's freaking huge, and it's just they're completely misinformed too or something. It really was ridiculous, the whole thing. So anyway, yeah, slept in the streets. Not ideal. And yeah, because of the way check-ins work and stuff, I can't, especially early in the morning, you can't just go check into a hotel, and I didn't want to pay 30 euros just for a hostel so I could sleep for a little bit in the afternoon or something. It's ridiculous. So just ended up having to make the best of the day that I could, basically living like a homeless person in a way. Well, I'll find a place to drop my luggage for the day, so that's at least less of a problem. I just have to carry around a small bag now, and now I was gonna go find a cafe or some shit. As you can see, Athens is a very nice city. Definitely not an overrated kind of dump. Obviously I was being provocative there, but it is true. I mean, even here, it's not like this building is just an ugly old concrete building. Most of the buildings in the city are like that, actually. A lot of them are not very well maintained. Before I came here too, actually, a guy who is from here, I guess he grew up here, he was giving me some advice about where to go in the city and so on, some places to check out. But he was like, just so you know, Athens is a shithole, man. I'm like, okay, I guess I'll see for myself. And I mean, he wasn't lying, to be fair. It kind of is. I mean, sure, that has some charm. There's some nice things about it. There's some interesting things about it, but it's extremely overrated and just kind of really hyped, overhyped. Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's just pretty much any big city, or not as nice as actually a lot of other big cities that I've been to, even, for that matter. And it's kind of ironic that the nicest or the biggest features of the city are ruins, old, destroyed, completely non-functioning things. Like, it's kind of a paradoxical place in that sense. It's kind of a joke, actually. But yeah, anyway, continued on with my day, as I was saying. Well, I pretty much feel like a proper homeless person in a way. Like, got my bags stored in a locker, slept in the street last night, got a terrible rest. I mean, it honestly gave me like a lot more empathy. Like, I already had quite a lot of compassion for people in circumstances like that. Because for me, at least, like, I still have money, and now, I mean, yeah, like, I got my bags in a locker, and slept in the street. I'm wandering around the city basically with no place to go at the moment, just trying to kill time. But at least, yeah, like, I can buy a coffee, and I don't look too bad still, I think. Still somewhat clean, but yeah, like, it's an interesting experience, you know, sleeping in the streets. Like, I can't imagine, like, I know I've met people who in Canada have slept outside in the winter time, like minus 30 and stuff. Here it was plus 30, which obviously I'm not going to freeze to death, but it has its own challenges. I mean, like, it was not particularly comfortable, and I woke up covered in sweat, and woke up a few times because I was getting attacked by bugs, like mosquitoes and these little flies that were trying to bite me and stuff. And also, like, some beetles crawling over me and so on. So that wasn't great. Even after just one day in the streets, like, you realize a lot of things you just take for granted most of the time. Like, one, finding somewhere to put your stuff. Like, I know people that they would just, you know, go to the public rec center, which is one of the best things that you can do. I know for a fact, because, like, there's been times actually when I'm, like, living out of my car, and that was legit. You, like, go to the pool because you can shower, you can relax, you can exercise, everything. You can store your stuff in a locker. And I know people, yeah, they go there just to shower and put their stuff in the locker and then leave it there, and then come back later maybe and get it. But another thing that I was just thinking of, because of course the time comes, where do you go to the friggin' bathroom? You know? Like, it's easy, especially as a guy, to just pretty much take a piss anywhere you want to. And especially, I mean, if you were outside for a long time and it looked like you'd been living outside, you probably wouldn't feel as undignified. You probably wouldn't care as much. I mean, I don't really care already. I'm at that point. But yeah, like, if you couldn't, like, in the city, most businesses, they won't just let you use their bathroom unless you buy something. And especially if you look like someone who's living on the streets or something, they're not just going to let you in and, oh, sure, yeah, use our bathroom. In Canada especially, they don't, because they think you're just going to use it to do drugs, which a lot of people do use it to do drugs, unfortunately. But it just makes me think, like, where do you go? You have to, like, find a public restroom or some sort of unassuming place. It's just, the whole thing is quite annoying, actually. It's a hassle, and just another thing that we just take for granted. I mean, like, honestly, me just walking around the city, normally a lot of the time it's, like, annoying to find a bathroom, but when you're, like, stuck outside and you got no other option, it's a whole nother game. The street's actually not so bad looking, but I mean, still not particularly nice buildings or anything. Just the trees really help. I'm gonna get a power bank because, well, it's gonna save me in the end. Because like last night, my phone was about to die and I was kind of stranded, and kind of makes everything a little more complicated, doesn't it? But anyway, decent store other than the fact that apparently they don't have a public bathroom. Kind of ridiculous. Something I don't understand about the books sections in these Greek stores is like, why does it have the genre in Greek, obviously, and then also in English? Like, oh, this actually is an English section, but all the other ones too, like kids fiction, all the books are Greek, but yet like they have the genre also in English. Like see here, early learning, but they're all Greek books. Classic fairy tales, but they're all Greek. Like, it's very weird. Anyway, English books, maybe I'll get a kid's book if that's all I got. I went to the beach and got kind of cleaned up, went for a swim, used the free showers. So, it's not bad at all. Well, and that brings us to right now, where I just took a little nap here in the park. Not bad, actually. I don't feel that much better, but anyway, it's time to go like wander back over and get my stuff and catch the ferry for real this time. It's funny, like I was talking about earlier, about homeless people having to deal with their stuff, like whether they store it somewhere or hide it. Well, found one of their hiding spots kind of in these inconspicuous bushes in the back of this little park here. And also, like earlier when I was looking for a place to nap, there was like a nice piece of grass and a little bit of shade, and then I go to walk up to it and I see there's a guy actually just already sleeping there. And I was like, oh, I guess this spot's taken. It's kind of crazy, you know, it's kind of actually pretty much crazy to like just get a little glimpse basically of what kind of life and some people face, and the amount of uncertainty they face day to day continuously. I don't wish that on anyone. Oh no, it's a black cat at the luggage drop. Hey, don't cross my path, felly. Come here, Soa. Come here. I want to give you a pat. Silly cats, you know. Well, seems I actually found the right place this time. So, fucking good. Yeah, I definitely take responsibility for screwing up yesterday, but at the same time, like, I wasn't the only one who was confused. Like today, a bunch of other people were asking, people like the bus driver and other people too. They're like, is this the right place? Like, is this the right terminal? Like, it's just really not a great system, but it goes both ways. And honestly, sometimes shit goes sideways. You just gotta, I don't know, roll with the punches. Some other cliches. Well, that was a hectic last 24 hours. I mean, between missing the ferry and sleeping in the street. And then just wandering around with basically no place to go. It was a long day, sleeping in the park as well. But I also managed to negotiate getting the ticket for this ferry free charge. expensive rooms. I was like, I'll just get a more expensive room, but like keep the money that I already paid and put it towards it. And they're like, yeah, I guess we can do that. So that worked out not bad too. But basically the main thing that I learned, I'm a little more resilient than I give myself credit for, I guess. And you know, when things are like that, you gotta just improvise, adapt, and overcome.